Welcome to the Steelers Realm Podcast. And now, here are the boys of Steelers Realm.
Nation, welcome back to another episode and simulcast of Steelers Realm on the PSF.app, the PSF app, Pro Sports Fans app, and on Steelers Realm podcast too. So good to be with you guys tonight. My main man, Shane Man, is with me tonight. Unfortunately, our other two compadres feeling a little bit under the weather. It must be that Ohio air still lingering around over there, Shane.
Oh, yeah, probably. Yeah, I'm glad I'm a little bit over the border, at least, you know, close to Pittsburgh. So,
yeah. So, anyhow, best wishes for you guys. Feel a little bit better. I know there's some crap going around.
There is. That time of year.
Yeah, let's get that hand sanitizer back out.
Yeah. For sure.
Yeah, the flu season, it's upon us, I guess. So, but anyhow, welcome, Steeler Nation. Thanks for jumping in. We got a little bit late. We were hoping some other guys could come on tonight, but anyhow, we're here a little later than usual, so apologize for that. But Shane, good to be with you, man. We got a Cardinals game coming up here after a big win that I think just took about all the air out of Cincinnati, man. You know,
yeah, I think that was it for them, unfortunately for them. But.
Yeah, it's hard not to keep looking back at that game this week. A lot of information, a lot of stuff going on throughout the week too. We'll be bringing it to you. Want to give a shout out to Bubba over at the Triple B Experience podcast. Invited me on last night, so I got to sit in with Bubba, Shane.
Nice.
And, yeah, we had a cool guy. We met a guy through the text chat from Steelers Nation, Australia.
Oh, that's right. I remember he mentioned that.
Yeah. So Mark is his name, and gonna give a shout out. Follow them. It's they're on the YouTube channel. So what do you got going on the rest of the week, Shane? We'll get some plugs in here for everybody before we roll on and get into the game. But what do you got going on the rest of the week here?
Well, yesterday I did my normal 1:30 p.m. live stream on Still Curtain YouTube channel. Definitely check that out. Kind of broke down the game in a lot of detail by myself this time around. So a lot of information I put out there about the game, some thoughts for that. But I save some for the stream as well, of course.
Yeah.
And then I'll have obviously my normal shows after this week too to talk about the Cardinals game.
Good deal. We got the weekend off on the PSF side of things.
Yep,
but
we do.
We'll definitely be jumping in. Have to take a look at the schedule. I'm not sure if Frank and Matt from the Trouble Gang are on there. But either way, make sure to check them out. I know even if they're not doing the live game with you on the PSF app, you can catch their comments and some pregame stuff that they usually put out there. I know Matt likes to record some videos, especially we were home this weekend, so he may be down there and have a little treat for you guys, as well as
possibly.
The Steelers by the Lake podcast team also handles some of these games too. So always good stuff out there on the PSF app. You can catch us, all our links to social media. We're on YouTube, Twitter, X, whatever you call it now.
I still go Twitter.
Yeah, anywhere you get your podcast. Plus we have Instagram page, and we're on LinkedIn as well too. So you can catch that stuff out there just by going to SteelersRealm.com and keep an eye on us on Facebook, as well as our Steelers group too. On Facebook, it is called Steelers Nation number 724. So that's growing as well too. So welcome everybody. Thursday night football is on, so we may have lost some of our regulars. They usually jump on right away. Yeah. But, we do have somebody jumped on already. Hey, Kathy, go Steelers. We got this one. So, hey, thanks for joining, Kathy. Appreciate it. Man, we're back home, Shane. 1:00 p.m. kickoff, Acrisure Stadium. Good to be back in home turf again. Games once again on CBS, KDKA in the Pittsburgh viewing area, if you got them. And you can also catch them on, what is that, Paramount Plus? Shane?
Yeah, if you have the Paramount Plus streaming app, you can watch all the CBS NFL games. So
Yeah.
one.
And, exciting. We actually have a change of pace this time with Kevin Harlan running play-by-play. Trent
Always love
Green.
Kevin Harlan.
Yeah. I always thought he was a pretty cool. He had potential as a quarterback. He played for Kansas City. But Mellon Collins on the sideline, they got your call on the TV viewing side. And then, of course, on the radio side, any Steelers radio network, including the flagship WDVE 102.5. Our man, Bill Hillgrove with Craig Wolfley on color, Missy and Max on the sideline. And they got the call. If you're in Indiana County, Western PA, who is actually the town of the month for November on the Steelers Realm number 724 Facebook group, WDAD. You can catch that AM and FM in Indiana County area. So anyhow, the weather looks pretty decent, really. 54 degrees at kickoff time or thereabouts. You know how Pittsburgh weather is. Benjamin, thanks for jumping on, man.
Yep.
We got a prediction already, too. We'll get to those in a minute, but hey, appreciate you jumping on. I heard his prediction last night. He actually jumped on with us when I was on with Bubba.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, so we'll get to that in a sec. But 39% chance of precipitation, not too much winds. It's always a little breezy and swirly there in Acrisure Stadium.
Oh, yeah.
5 to 10 mile an hour. So how do we fare against them? I thought I read somewhere it was 1969 the last time the Cardinals actually won in Pittsburgh.
That sounds about right. I mean, we have not a storied history necessarily with them. There's obviously the Super Bowl back in 2009. That's kind of the game that people think about with these two teams. And also the fact that this is something we'll talk about maybe a little bit later too. In that era, like the 2000s, early 2010s, it felt like their coaches or players were always somebody affiliated with the Steelers at one point or another, right?
Right.
Arians or even Wisenhunt, has a history, and players.
Right.
Mendenhall played for them, like guys like that. Like it felt like they always migrated over to the desert. So
we were calling it Pittsburgh West for a while.
I know.
Yeah, definitely. But looks like we lead that series 35-23 with 3 ties.
That's a lot of ties for teams. If teams that don't play each other all the time, that's a lot of ties.
Yeah, it definitely is. Now I wonder if that goes back to the old days. But
probably. I mean, they've been around in some variation since 1920, and we're 1933. So probably a lot of them were back then. But
yeah. So, well, here we're sitting at 7-4, guys. Who would have thought? The eye test doesn't match the win column, but anyhow, we'll take it 7-4. And we finally saw a good offensive performance, not points wise, but stat wise and yardage wise, which, hey, we'll take anything.
Absolutely.
Taking the Bungles down 16-10. And boy, I'll tell you what, man, those fans are they're whipped. They're done.
It's over.
They're done. Unfortunately, it's great. At one point in time, had the playoffs been, what was this just a couple weeks ago, had the playoffs started, 3 of the 4 teams in the AFC North would have been in the playoffs.
Yeah. There may have been one week where I think all 4 of them were in the playoffs. They were taking up all 3 wild cards at one point, I think. So,
that's right.
I mean, this division has been nuts. And obviously it's unfortunate for the Bengals. You lose quarterback. There's not a team that's going to overcome that when it's Burrow. So, like, their season is pretty much over. I think they know that.
Yeah. Not even with Duck Hodges or Mason.
Hey, not everybody has the magic that Mike seems to have with always getting 8+ wins. So.
Right. So the Cards, I peeked in on some of this game. I didn't get a chance to watch the whole game, but ugly loss.
Yeah.
At 2-10, coming off an ugly loss to the Rams, 37-14. It was like, I don't know, like shooting ducks in a barrel. It seemed. But the line on the game, Steelers -5.5. And the over-under at 41. I guess somebody is the betting gods are thinking there might be some more points scored, maybe over 20.
That's the goal next, right? Now you got to get 20+ points on top of all these yards that we got last week.
Yeah. So everything is pointing and what is we'll get to it in a second. But everything's pointing to this should be an easy win for the Steelers.
Right.
Boy, I sure hate to jinx them by even saying
Yeah, me too.
because we all know that 4-letter word before game starts with the T and ends with rap. But we certainly don't want to see these teams that we should be beaten on our road to the playoffs find themselves fall into a trap game like that. Somebody they should beat. So anyhow, we're going to break it down as best as we know and share it with you and give you our thoughts on what's coming up. But before we do that, since Freight Train's not here to do by the numbers, TA not here to do the ambulance report, so I guess we'll do it ourselves. Shane, man, why don't you do the by the numbers gig?
Sure, no problem. So by the numbers, of course, I'm going to try to do Freight Train here, proud as much as I can. First number he's got here is 400. Just felt like saying it again. I think he's referring to the amount of yards we surpassed for the first time in about, feels like my whole lifetime, but it is really a couple years where they weren't able to do that. Right.
I lost you for a second there. Sorry about that.
So it's a sign that things are moving forward better, right, on offense.
Oh, absolutely. Take it.
Yeah. Next number here, 334. The Steelers have the most wins since 1990 with 334. A little bit surprised by that just because of obviously the Patriots dynasty kind of bit into our lead in terms of wins for a while, but I think that we've kind of come back on them a little bit with their struggles. So definitely happy to see that we're still the most dominant team in terms of wins since that period of time. And not that surprising though when you think about it.
No, I did see that graphic earlier that week. Very cool. Very cool. We get G Hillman on the other end on the PSF. Thanks for jumping in, G Hillman. For all the Pens fans out there, Tristan Jarry with goalie.
Oh, goalie goal.
Yeah. For all those Pen fans out there, thanks for sharing.
Love to see that for sure. Those are fun.
Yeah, definitely.
Now, yeah. Up 4-2 on Tampa Bay. Hey, what it was like when any Pittsburgh team is doing well, it's always happy with me. I'm always happy to see that. So,
hey, the McDonald's meal, keep it up, man. We might have
it's true.
Price McDonald's meal tomorrow.
There you go. Yeah.
So, all right, man. What else you got?
41. That was the number of snaps the defense took last Sunday, the lowest since 2014 against the Titans, where they only had 39. I want to say that was a game quarterback by Zach Mettenberger of the Titans, maybe at that time. Do you remember that name at all? You probably shouldn't. I'm the only one who might know that, but that would not be surprising if that's who it was. But no, the defense had such an easy time compared to what they've had to deal with most of the year. This past Sunday didn't have to play 65, 70 snaps. The offense actually controlled the ball. Again, the points didn't come, but I'm sure that defense really was happy to get a bit of a rest there.
Yeah, and TJ's after game interview.
Yeah,
like
you can tell. He's like,
what would you attribute to? He's like, hey, I was just happy to be sitting on the bench as much time as I did.
Exactly, right? He's so used to having to go 100 miles an hour for like 40 minutes of the game. So
yeah, really.
Yeah, hopefully they can rest up. And that's going to be a key thing, though. If we can at least control the ball a little bit more and get the defense could be fresher when we go into the playoffs, presumably, that's going to be big. So,
yeah, been saying that all year, really.
Yeah,
the offense has to take some pressure off the D.
At least some. And I think we're on the way there. But
it's final. It is a final 4-2.
Oh, the final is 4-2. Okay, gotcha.
Yep.
All right. But back-to-back 11s here. We'll start with 11 takeaways, which is the amount the Steelers are tied for first with. They have 11 takeaways this year. Not surprising. This defense the past 2 years, really especially, has kind of thrived on those takeaways more so than just not giving up any yardage at all. It's more that don't break, but hey, it's working so far.
Yeah, and accounted for a considerable amount of the points that we did score.
Absolutely, yeah. So for them to be plus 11 in the takeaways, again, that's also on the offense not turning the ball over. I will say that, but I'm hoping we get a little bit more risk, especially because we can afford to now a little bit more. But either way, if they're not turning the ball over, I'm sure they'll be doing just fine.
All right.
Another 11 here. That's the number of snaps the Steelers ran in Week 12 out of 13 personnel. So for those who don't know, 1 running back, 3 tight ends. 7 snaps total through weeks 1-11. I saw that stat earlier this week, and I was like, there's no way it's only been 7 snaps. And then I'm like, no, you know what? Actually, I haven't seen this much at all. And that was very effective for them. Makes a ton of sense. We have 3 tight ends who can play. This has got to continue to happen.
Yeah, it really was. And, I read an in-depth article, and I'm sorry, I forgot to quote the guy, but it was a great article about that. and how they just weren't running one play out of that set. They were running numerous plays,
Yes,
including running plays as well too. So, interesting. Has that been in the playbook, or is that a little wrinkle? What's
I
theory with
I
that?
feel like from what I could gather and from what I've heard from others too, I think it was a situation where with Canada, he seemed to really like to spam a lot of the same run plays, right? Especially run plays. And he wanted to do it out of the same look. And that's where the issue lies, is they ran a lot of the same plays that they would on other formations, but out of 13 personnel, which helps so much with the run game because now you have 3 actual blockers out there instead of a wide receiver doing it or whatever else it might be.
Yeah, good point.
Yeah, so I think that helped a lot. And then 2.9, the last number we have here, that is the yards per carry teams are averaging since Cam returned. He's a difference maker, man. Like when you have a guy like him in the middle who's so strong and stout, it's just hard to move guys out of the way because it gives other guys opportunities too. Because if you double Cam, our other guys can win one-on-ones in the run game. It's just when they have to get moved out of the way by 2 guys, none of them are quite as good as dealing with that as he is.
Oh, he's a master at that.
Exactly.
I wonder what it is without
him. I don't know.
That's a good one. Make a note on that. It'd be interesting to catch that.
It has to be almost close to 5, honestly, because I think we're still in the like mid to low fours in yards per carry allowed, and that's with him back. So like, it's probably in the mid to high 4s in terms of yards per carry allowed without him.
Yeah. Well, that's impactful.
It is.
No doubt. And that was a problem earlier when he was out. Yeah, no, nice. Thanks for bringing that. Good stuff there. I love those numbers.
Yeah, it's cool. It's a cool segment for sure.
It's just fun to do that too. So a lot of stuff going on through the week, guys. Including one, I'll let you run with this, Shane Deontay, for all the flack he got, and even Tomlin passing that along. He's like, that's between you guys to ask him that kind of stuff. But where did that continue after that, Shane?
So from what he said and what's been reported, he apologized to the team and says it won't happen again. That's not me as a player, Johnson said. That one play doesn't define me. It never will. I didn't come up playing football like that. Obviously, it looks bad on film, but from now on, just going forward, just to be smart, keep playing to the whistle. The problem with that play, and I think what people forget about with him, or not even forget about, but they focus on with him, is he does have this tendency when he does make mistakes, they compound on themselves. Because we always talk about the drops, or people talk about drops with him. He only usually has a game or 2 a year where they actually show up. But when they do show up, they show up in bunches. It's like 2, 3, or 4. And it can ruin a whole game for a team.
And you know what? Tomlin he did address that in his own way.
Yeah.
In that, one statement pretty much defined it, that he told them that he couldn't let the previous play affect the next play.
Exactly. And that's what I think his biggest downside as a player is when those mistakes do happen, because every player is going to make mistakes.
Oh yeah.
But how do you respond to them? And I think so far in his career, the answer has always been in a negative way is how he responds. And that's definitely something you want to see change from him.
Yeah. That's how you deal with it. He's definitely in his own head. When
yes.
Happens one. So we got some more good news this week, Shane, man. Minka back as a participant in practice, along with none other than one of TA's favorite players, Ryan Adams, back at practice. So, they posed a question for us to throw out to you guys. What do you think that means for Benton and Thompson?
It's a good question. I personally think for Thompson, it's going to just mean that he's the third safety, and he's still going to get a lot of snaps because of the lack of depth in the safety room right now.
Mm-hmm.
With Benton, I hope it means very little because he's still just a much better player. And that's nothing against Montravius Adams. I think he's been fine this year. But you have to continue to play your best players. And now you have another guy that you can go to who you trust.
Right.
Whereas now it's been kind of the Benton show without him being the main nose tackle. So I'm glad to have him back either way.
Oh, no doubt. Think they'll leak him into some plays this weekend?
For sure. Yeah.
Good deal. So, we're talking Cardinals here, but, you have to tip your hat to Najee, kind of breaking out of his offensive woes.
Mm-hmm.
man, I mean, as a player, it's hard to put yourself in that position and understand what was going on in the locker room and stuff like that.
Yeah.
They obviously do a good job of shielding that kind of stuff, but
Yeah, they do.
there has to be a lot of stuff going on there and frustrations starting to set in. I mean, you saw it with little Minka and was it Deontay?
Yeah, those two got into it a little bit. And
Got into it a little bit, and from what seems to start surfacing, and I'm drifting off the subject a little bit here, but is some fill-in background conversation regarding how Canada worked with the other coaches and players. And man, it sure seemed like from how it was described that he didn't really interact with anybody. Nobody was privy to his game plan coming up. And like, I don't know. I just don't understand you not, working with your other coaches and be alongside your quarterbacks in his ear every minute of every practice. I mean, it baffles me. And I'm just really surprised that this went on as long as it did, really.
And I think that's the key thing with the whole Canada situation was even because everyone said good things about him as a person on the way out, right? So, and I have no doubts that he's a good guy. There's nothing has ever come out, contrary to that. But at some point, when the results are what they are, right, you're going to start to lose faith in that guy as a coach. If you like him, that's great. He has to coach you and coach the team up to a certain standard. And once that standard isn't met, people are going to start asking questions, right? They're going to start wondering, like, is this the right way to be going about this? Is this something we can get better at, or is this already a lost cause? And I think that's why he ultimately got fired, because Tomlin saw the way that the team talked about him and talked about the offense at the end of that game against the Browns, all that stuff.
Yeah, it just seems like a lack of collaboration.
Yeah, they just weren't working together. And that's probably what ultimately cost him his job, not just the results, but the fact that players finally were willing to say it out loud that, hey, this is not working. And it's not just as simple, like, always got to play better. Like, none of it is working. So,
yeah. Hey, got a couple listeners joining back in. Chris, hey, man, welcome. Shout out to JT.
Yeah.
And Benjamin, Tomlin is a great coach. Well, I think it's probably about a 50-50 sentiment around probably those that think he is, those that think he's not, and those that are maybe somewhere in between that are like, well, he is what he is. The mediocrity thing always comes into play, but it is what it is. But Chris, Benton deserves to stay in. Trenton Thompson should play next to Minka. Well, you might see some of that.
I can't really disagree. I think Casey's been fine, but I wouldn't be opposed to giving Thompson some of those snaps definitely in this game, not just in 3 safety packages. So
may add a little extra versatility in there. Yeah. And of course, Minka being back, I don't expect him to play majority of the snaps that he normally would yet.
Right. You hope you can rest him a little bit on his way back still.
Right. So, and then we got some other news.
Yeah.
That Pittsburgh hoping to lure the NFL draft to the North Shore for 26 or 27.
That would be interesting for sure. I would definitely be there. I would play that much.
That'd be a cool time. It really would. And I think people would really enjoy being in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, just gotta hope the weather breaks for that. It was right at the time where it could still be a little bit ugly. So.
Yeah, a little bit Pittsburghish.
Right. So.
Yeah. Got that. So, well, why don't we do this since TA is not here to deliver the ambulance report? I'll take the Steelers. You take the Cardinals. How's that?
Sure, no problem.
All right. So, running down the numbers, Kenny Pickett. This thing about an ankle kind of popped up, but he was a full participant. Allen Robinson rest, and he didn't participate. Resting foot. What was that? It wasn't required to play.
Yeah, I think it's kind of like almost like a veteran day off type of thing. Plus foot issue, yeah.
Right. Calvin Austin, a little ankle tweak, did not participate. Patrick Peterson again, rest day, didn't participate. Minka, full participant. Mon Adams, full participant. Simalo again, and Cam got their Veterans Days off. So relatively healthy group, guys.
Yeah, getting healthier every week, it seems.
Healthier every week with the addition of 2 more. So, how things look on the other side of the ball?
Not quite as good. They have a couple guys who are either limited or haven't practiced that might have a chance to miss the game. So we'll go over it. So the biggest one probably, well, one of the two biggest ones, Marquise Brown, familiar face from the Ravens before he joined Cardinals last year, has a heel injury, did not participate. Cornerback Antonio Hamilton has a groin injury, also did not participate. The other big one for me, at least, is Trey McBride, their second-year tight end, who's really come on strong. Actually, they just released Zach Ertz today, the other tight end, because he wanted to be let go since he wasn't starting. He's down with a groin right now as well, so he's having some issues there. Rookie DB Starling Thomas V has an ankle, did not participate. A big one as well, the guy we'll talk about a little bit here, Jalen Thompson, has a rib injury, did not participate either. We'll see if he can go. That's a big one if they can't have him go back there as one of the safeties. Rookie receiver Michael Wilson, a guy I liked a lot actually coming out of Stanford. Shoulder injury, did not participate. And then a couple guys here, Joey Blunt, Kevin Strong, and Elijah Wilkinson, safety, defensive lineman, offensive lineman, respectively, all limited with knee or neck injuries.
Ouch.
Yeah, so a lot of guys could be missing from them.
Well, hey, I hate to wish any players wrong, but
right.
Hey, we'll take whoever they line up against either way. Yes. So, but yeah, it's time of the year. These injuries or nagging injuries continue, like that groin.
Soft tissue injuries this year have been through the roof. It feels like.
Yeah.
So
now, on a twist, somebody I don't really talk about much, but Aaron Rodgers back at practice again.
That is another thing where I'm like, I don't even want to watch. Like, if he plays this year, I don't think I can watch it because, like, I know that thing is popping again if he goes out there. I'm sorry. There's no way you can convince me that Achilles is ready to go. So.
All right. And before we get into our players to watch out for, though, while we're on things going on around the NFL outside of the realm. Mm-hmm. Anyhow, did you hear the story about Von Miller?
I did. Unfortunately, really bad stuff there. If it is what it sounds like it is, he won't be playing again this year and probably won't be playing anytime soon and shouldn't play anytime soon.
Yeah. Well, at this early stage in the game, there was a warrant for his arrest, and she filed a complaint against him, and she had bruises and whatnot on it, so not looking pretty good. But he did turn himself in.
Right.
Made bail and was released, but the team didn't really say a whole lot, and obviously NFL will be investigating and doing their own stuff there. Hey, Jeremiah, thanks for jumping on, man. Jeremiah says, "Smash the Cards Sunday."
That's the idea.
Let's go Steelers. So, yeah, just another interesting bit of tidbits. It was somebody from who else was it? Somebody else got in trouble.
I'm trying to think. I know someone did, but what was it? I'd have to look it up. I didn't check before we started.
Was it a Giants player?
Maybe. That sounds right, but I don't remember who that would have been.
Oh, sorry. I don't mean to throw it.
No, we're good. Yeah, but yeah, unfortunately, this type of stuff happens anywhere, but when it's in the NFL, obviously it's very magnified, and we hear a lot about it, but
sure.
We'll see what happens with it. I'm sure the NFL is going to be jumping on that real fast. So.
Yeah, and these players are held to standards too.
They are. Yes.
Along with just normal human being type behavior required, so anyhow, well, let's get into their offense there. Kyler Murray back, 3 games now? Back?
Yeah, I believe this will be his 4th game back, I think, against us.
Yeah, so coming off that season injury last year, 3 games, still 1-3 and looking for his groove. So there's that word again. Trap game.
Let's not make this a trap game. Yeah.
Let's not. So now, we mentioned the same earlier, I thought, but anyhow, what kind of targets does he have? We know about one of the running back. So what about receiver wise, Shane?
Well, again, if he plays, Marquise Hollywood Brown is probably his top target still, other than Trey McBride. I think those two both being banged up, tight end for them. If those two both miss time, and especially the rookie Michael Wilson, their other receiver misses time, they could be running out there with a bunch of 5'8" guys. Rondell Moores comes to mind. He's like 5'8". Greg Dortch is 5'7". Could be a lot of small guys out there with Murray. But if Brown plays, he's definitely the guy that I'm worried most about because our defense is very much not fast, especially on the back. And if Minka's back, it helps. But, is he going to be full speed? Hard to say.
Well, yeah, you wonder about that.
Yeah.
Some will say, "Hey, I'll take a half-speed Minkah Fitzpatrick any day out there."
Right. But like again, if he has to open up and run with Brown, that's a good way to end up hurting yourself again. So hopefully he doesn't have to do that, but definitely look out for him if he plays. And of course, we should talk about former Steeler on this list here for James Conner at least.
Yeah, absolutely. We talked about this a little bit when I was on with Bubba too, but it again, fighting injuries, man. I think it's kind of one of the reasons why Pittsburgh let him go, but not quite the guy. At one point, he was leading the league with 18 touchdowns last year. So, again, now we've done pretty good of holding runners to minimum gains. So let's hope that trend continues. Another comment here. I like to jump on these two. Minkah plays Sunday. Watch him get a pick six. You know what?
That would be great. That'd be great.
You reading my mind there, Jeremiah. But we'll get into predictions a little bit later. So, but we just don't want to see him do that. And going back to next week, I was just really surprised how Cincinnati gave up on the running game so quickly.
Yeah, especially with the backup quarterback. Like, I understand, the running game wasn't very effective when you went to it, but you gave it 8 tries. Like, you got to give Mixon and some of these other guys a chance because, with Cam back, it's harder to run on this team for sure, but you can't ask your backup quarterback who has not played any significant snaps in the NFL to go win you a game.
No, put all the weight on his back now.
Yeah, you can't. No, I mean, honestly, the only reason it was even as close as it was is because he got 3 or 4 bounces right into his receiver's hands when we were the ones who touched it first. Like, take those out, and he might have thrown for 100 yards on 30 passes. Like, it was a lot to ask.
Yeah.
So, but with Conner, I did want to mention, like, his overall numbers are down this year, but it's been the most efficient season of his career on the ground. He's averaging over 5 yards a carry. So he's definitely, possible that he could have a big game against us if we're not careful.
Yeah. Well, again, let's not say that 4-letter word anymore.
Right. Exactly. Let's be careful with that. We are known for that. So let's not do it this week, at least.
All right. So Kenny coming off and the Steelers coming off their most impressive offensive performance. So how do we look faced up with what the Cardinals are going to bring on defense?
I think pretty good. Jalen Thompson has been one of their best players this year in the secondary, especially. And he might miss this game. He just looks like he's banged up with the ribs. But if he doesn't, he's a guy that could definitely, ball hawk over the middle of the field. And that's somewhere we're trying to attack now. So they're probably going to be prepared for that now. They saw us do it. He's the number one guy on the secondary, at least I'm worried about. They do have Budda Baker too, safety, which he's not been as good this year as the rest of his career. If you remember, there was actually talk about when they were looking to maybe trade him, the Steelers might have been interested to pair him with Minkah. Like, that would have been really fun, but Baker hasn't been quite as good as years past. So Thompson's definitely the number one threat there.
Yeah. Okay. How about as far as linebacker play goes?
Well, they kind of did a weird thing with their linebackers where, especially Zaven Collins here, is who we're going to talk about. He was an off-ball linebacker, more of a true middle linebacker when he was drafted, but they've moved him to edge, and it's actually worked out pretty well. He was a bigger guy, like 6'4", 255 pounds, so he has more of that modern edge build than a linebacker build. So I think they want to try to take advantage of him in that way, and honestly, it's been pretty good results for him so far.
Cool. Boy Wonder keeps messaging me, "Hey, can I get V-Bucks?" Stop it, dude. Come on, I'm in the middle of something here. Gosh,
that's funny.
Yeah,
no, but he's an interesting guy. So definitely watch it. I mean, our tackles haven't obviously been super great. Jones has been really good, so we'll see how that goes. But he's at least more of a threat than I would have thought in his first year playing edge.
Cool. And then Dante Stills.
Rookie interior lineman for them, interior defensive lineman. I told you this pre-show, but I actually scouted him coming out of West Virginia for another site that I work with occasionally, and was very excited about him as just a pass rusher, and that's kind of how it's played out. He's been a good pass rusher, but not really much of a run defender. So if we can run his way, I think we'll have a lot of success doing that.
All right. Well, with all that said, I like the looks of this game going into it, playing at home. Man, it'd be a ruckus, chance of rain, but temperature's going to be nice. So get a big turnout there, as they always do.
They always have a big
that's
turnout.
never an issue. But how it affects the tailgating, more so than the players themselves. But hey, we got money kicking field goals for us regardless of the weather. So
absolutely, yeah.
Keys to victory, Shane. I'll go ahead and let you lead the way with this one, and maybe you guys listening in chime in on your keys to victory as well. Chris, Jeremiah, Benjamin, and where'd she go? Kathy, you still out there? Kathy gives us your keys to the game too, if you guys can.
Yeah, definitely drop that in the comments. But I'll keep it pretty simple on both sides. On offense, you have to play a clean, efficient game. Do not give the Cardinals extra chances on offense. Murray is a big-time threat, despite the fact that he might be missing some of his best targets and the fact that the Cardinals are just not obviously a great team this year. He, at any point, could run for 50 yards on you or throw a 60-yarder down the field. So you got to be careful with him. Don't give him more opportunities. And then on defense, you have to turn the ball. You have to take the ball away a couple of times, in my opinion. Not necessarily because they're going to outscore us or anything, but put pressure on them to make plays whenever they normally teams don't have to have that pressure on them against the Steelers. Force that pressure on them to make plays. That's how you get in the backfield a bunch. They're going to try to spread you out. That's when TJ can attack their really young offensive line, young tackles. That's going to be how you win this game.
Can't argue any of those points. I think they still need to continue to own the time of possession.
Yes.
Yeah. Field possession, all the important. What's Tomlin call weighty downs?
Weighty downs.
Weighty downs. Convert third downs.
Yes.
Run the ball efficiently and use it to set up. I saw the Rams take advantage of some zone coverage on their defense. Tight end was it Higbee?
Yeah, had 2 touchdowns, I think. Yeah,
had a good day, and I think it's going to be there for the picking, or for the picket, I should say. There's Bubba's chiming in there. Threw me on a contact for the Australian guy, Mark.
Oh, cool.
Right. Steelers Nation, Australia. So check him out if you haven't had a chance to. Interesting, the accent and all, but true passionate Steeler fan. And
you can find him anywhere, can't you?
Yeah, you can find him anywhere. Germany, you name it, everywhere. It's
Italy, of course.
It should be Steelers world. But hey, Todd, thanks for tuning in, dude. Can't allow Kyle to run on them. Same scheme as they used against Lamar. Right. There you go. Similar
hassle you have to deal with as far as running quarterbacks go.
Yeah, and that's a good point. I think we've done pretty decent at containing some of these guys that are more agile in the backfield.
So far, yeah.
So far. So I think I like those keys to victory. I think the turnovers have come. I think we're going to have a numerous sacks on the day. And I think the turnover battle will be won by the Steelers. And that ought to take us out of there with a win as we keep moving on. Next game is what? New England.
Yep, Thursday night as of right now. Yeah.
Short week. How about we put these guys to bed early? Get lots of sleep on a short week.
That'd be great.
We got Jeremiah chiming in. Take advantage of first and second down. Stay away from third and long situation.
Absolutely. That's been the biggest issue they've had all year, and it got a little bit better this past week. So hopefully.
Yes. How many punts on the day?
Oh, man. Was it just 2 or 3?
I'm thinking, yeah.
Couldn't have been more than 2 or 3 at the most.
Yeah. I was scanning through play-by-play. I was counting defensive snaps, but I didn't look, and I know I saw at least 1 in there or 2.
Yeah, I can think of 2, so that makes me think it's either just the 2 or maybe there's another one in there I'm not thinking of. But
just control what you can control, man, and we should win this game.
Yeah, absolutely.
Don't turn it over too. So, run the ball. Run the ball. These guys aren't out of range of having 1,000-yard seasons.
Yeah, that's true. We could have both of them have close to that same amount. And honestly, with the way the run game is going, I think that this is very much a hot hand situation at times, where like Jalen probably in the game against the Browns should have gotten some more carries this week. Najee definitely led the backfield. The fact that these two fact that these two can play the way they do together, like I'm tired of the whole one guy should be doing this or whatever. It's like they both need each other. to be the best versions of themselves on this team, they both need to do their jobs individually. And when they do that, it's real hard to stop this team on the ground. It's just real hard.
Agree. And I think we're seeing that play out too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Listen to the first thump. Run, Forrest, run.
Yeah, seriously. Hey, that's what we do best. I mean, Kenny looked much better, but you don't have to put all the pressure on him right now. So, especially in a game like this.
No need to be. No need to in this game. And that's where hopefully if he relaxes and you can hit some of those deep balls.
Already worked last week, so we'll see.
Yeah. Jeremiah says you could tell almost immediately that Canada was not calling the plays on offense.
Yes.
Absolutely. We all absolutely agreed 100% after that. It was like, well, guys, what did you think? And we're like, where do we start?
Yeah, literally the first play of the game, you're like, oh, it's down the middle of the field.
Over the middle.
All right, cool. We're good. Now I'm ready to go.
Well, that's right. Papa Son was with me there, and we started counting. We're like 7, 8, and then it's like 9. Like, what is going on here? So, yeah, it almost gave me chills just kind of processing that again too. So, anyhow, yeah, it was short and sweet tonight, guys. We only got 2 of us flapping our jaws.
Yeah, a little bit easier to get in under that hour mark when there's 2 of us, I think.
No offense, TA or Pregame.
Yeah, no offense. We'd love to have you back. So come back next week.
Yeah, get healthy, man. Get that voice in. So, well, let's talk predictions, man. TA threw his out there already. He got this early, so he must not be feeling good for him to be down this early, man.
Yeah, he was like, I'm getting this done and I'm out of here.
Yeah, I'm going to bed. So he's taking Steelers 28-13. I don't even have to. He didn't write Steelers in there, but I don't even have
we know it's Steelers. Yeah,
we know what it is. All right, Shane, what do you got?
28-17, similar. I'm actually closer to TA than probably ever have been on a prediction so far since I started doing stuff with you guys. It just feels like that week that we're going to finally beat a team by, a comfortable margin. And I think the Cardinals can still put up some points. They still have some talented guys, but I think this is the week the Steelers offense not just gets yards, but finally kind of pays off with a couple touchdowns more than they normally do.
All right. I'm going to save mine. Not that it's anything spectacular or whatever, but we're going to get back to the first prediction of the night was Benjamin. So he's going, let me get him in here. Benjamin is taking the Steelers 38-17.
That'd be great. That'd be fantastic.
So you're taking the over, Benjamin, on that one. Let's see what else we got out there. Chris, Steelers big
34-13.
Him and Benjamin, maybe they hitting that bourbon a little
maybe
early.
Got Taz 28-12. It looks like he has.
All right, Chris 34-13.
Yeah.
Okay, like that bottom number. I don't know if we get there or not, but let's see. Do we have any other? Oh, there.
Yep. Todd's got 28-12.
Oh, hey, Todd. Thanks for tuning in, man. 28-12.
Yep.
All right. Bear with me. Slow typer.
And I think the last one we got is Jeremiah 31-6. That'd be go home early on that one.
Hey, yeah, really. 31-6.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So seeing what everybody, and I don't know, we'll get there. I like the 28. I'm going to go ahead and say, what did we get? Freight Train. Wait a minute.
I don't know if did he put his in there?
Yeah, he did. 24-17.
24-17. So similar.
24-17. Yeah, I like the 24. I don't think Cards will put up that much, though. I'm going to go 24-13.
All right.
24-13.
We all got double digits. So if we don't do this week, we need to never suggest it again.
That's right.
We can't put it anywhere. We can't do it again.
All right. Everybody going with the Steelers, hands down. I'm sure all the talking heads will as well.
I assume.
Yeah, I would certainly I think the over is a good bet on that, don't you? I'm not a betting.
I think so. I don't think the Cardinals are going to be completely worthless on offense, and I think our offense is going to have its best points day in a while. So put those two together, I think the 41 is pretty generous, or not generous, pretty conservative, honestly.
Right, and like Jeremiah says, you can't you can't not consider that some of those points are going to come from the defense either.
Certainly possible, yeah.
I would not. I mean, those two are the best at the strip sacks.
Oh yeah, and Kyler, he's always had issues with fumbling. He's just a smaller guy, gets hit hard. It's hard for him not to fumble sometimes, so it's always possible.
Yeah, well, a little loose with the ball.
Can be.
Trying to be athletic and being a little careless. But all right, well, cool. Well, there you have it, folks. Our predictions. We'll be looking forward to 1:00 Sunday. Last minute plug, Shane. What do you got going on? Anything between now and the game time?
Nothing between now and game time. I do want to mention something, everybody. If you have not watched Kyler Murray play much, definitely look him up. His highlights, everything. If nothing else, to watch him run, because it is the funniest run I've ever seen by any player in the NFL. His feet feel like they're going 700 miles an hour, and he's quick, but it's so funny to watch. Definitely watch him run. It's hilarious. I'd recommend doing that before the game.
All right, Chris is going to leave us with a thought here. What do you guys think of changing commentators for the game?
It's always nice to get a little bit fresher, right? I'm a big Kevin Harlan fan from the he does NBA. He's awesome at the NBA. He does good stuff in the NFL too. So
yeah, I'm okay with them mixing them up.
Absolutely.
Well, I'm okay with just about anybody as long as they're not named Chris Collinsworth.
I was going to say, I'm like, as long as it's not Chris, I think we're probably pretty good. So
that's it too. So, well, without anything else, last comments from the peanut gallery out there. Hey, no, we appreciate you guys chiming in, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
Every time they're with us. Appreciate it, man. Grab that PSF app when you get a chance. Join the Steelers fans NFL group out there on the PSF Android or iOS. psf.app will give you the link. Thank you, Todd. Appreciate you stopping in, man. So yeah, jump on that and you'll see us. Very interactive app. A lot of Steeler fans, AFC, you can jump into the Ravens or Bengals or whomever, NFL, MLB, NBA, NHL. They're out there. NCAA stuff is building out in the PSF app as well too. So jump on there. While you're looking for our stuff, SteelersRealm.com, you can find us there. Nothing between now and game time. So let's have a great rest of your weekend. Go Steelers. Careful in the hot tub, Steelers Nation. We'll catch you next time.
Check back next week into the Steelers Realm.